Today we'll be painting our shape that we'll paint our letter on top of later. So to get started, either take your square or your triangle and write your name and your class code on the back of your work. Once your name and class code are on your shape, you're going to flip it over so we can get ready to start painting. To begin, you want to make one thin layer of one solid color in your background. We've used this paint before, but just so you remember, this paint does not like water, so I will not be dipping my brush in water first. You don't want to take giant scoops of paint because you don't want the paint to ever touch that metal part on your paintbrush. So we can just get one little dip and fill it up, and once your paintbrush runs out of some paint, we can get a little bit more and keep going. You're going to keep repeating this process until your whole shape is full of one solid, thin color. You don't want it too thick because we want this to dry as fast as possible. The only time we'll use water today is when we're changing colors. So I used a big brush to paint my solid blue background, and I'm going to create smaller details. If I was creating larger details, at this point I could rinse my brush off, but since I'm creating smaller details, I'm going to use a smaller paintbrush. Again, you want to keep in mind that this paint does not like water. So if you did rinse your paintbrush, you're going to need to dry it off very well by painting it onto your paper towel. And if you're using a different brush, just don't dip it in water first. We're also going to keep in mind that we don't want paint on that metal part of our paintbrush. So just tiny dots of paint on our brush at a time. You can always get more, but it's really hard if you use too much at first. I'm choosing to create a pattern of dots around the edge of my painting, and then I'll make some lines. You can create a pattern like mine where you repeat things, or you can do it completely different. I'll have some examples on the board while we work if you'd like to look at them, but this is your work. You also are not going to be painting your letter in this stage. We are just getting your square or triangle decorated to make it nice and cool before we add that letter. So think about maybe keeping the middle of your shape a little bit empty, or we can just paint your letter on top. Again, this is your work and you can make it look however you'd like. Keep in mind that we don't want to mix up paint colors. So these are brand new filled trays and the whole school is going to use them. So we don't want to ruin the paint for other people. When you rinse that brush, you want to paint the bottom of your cup. Take your paintbrush and scrape the sides and then paint your paper towel until there's no water or color left on it. Then you may change colors. Keep going with your design until your whole painting looks as finished as you'd like, and then you may carry it like a pizza over to the drying rack.